Hello, welcome back for another episode of Soren Says. And before we start, I just want to say thank you so much for the support, everyone. It turns out that YouTube decided that we are cool enough to have the posting feature. And so some of you may have noticed I put up a poll. Check it out. Appreciate any kind of interaction. Recently, I got the opportunity to sit in on a seminar with an employee at Blizzard. I won't tell any names or anything like that, but it was a really cool talk, especially as a game designer. I had a lot to learn. It was mostly just the same thing I've been hearing from everyone, and go out and make games and doing all the things that I have already been doing for the last 12 years. I've gotten really invigorated on a project right now. I'll put a little clip at the end to show my progress in the current iteration. It's very early on, but if you are interested, check it out. Anyway, this Blizzard employee, undisclosed, said something really, really controversial to me, especially as a player who's played games like WoW and Final Fantasy 14, and I grew up playing EverQuest 2. It really upset me. I'm gonna be honest. He basically said that dungeon queues were the worst designed system WoW ever implemented. And he gave it under the context, it got rid of some of the social aspect. Early WoW, most MMOs, before implementing dungeon queue, you either had a group, you had a guild, you had friends that you had to meet up in order to do content. And while I will agree that friends and groups and established connections with others is a fantastic model for games like this, people that didn't have those groups suffered because it was required. I remember a lot of times in EverQuest 2 prior to any kind of implementation of this where I just didn't get to do content, or even when I was in a group, if people didn't care or didn't want to do the content, it was either they'd run me through it and it wasn't a challenge because they were so high level, or we just didn't do the content. Especially in a game like WoW or EverQuest, mostly the ones with like collection log and unique things. It's hard to believe that the developers thought it was a good idea, at least in a modern sense. Obviously, at the time, it was what it was, and we can explain it as this was just how it was, and I appreciate it for, its time period. However, forcing that issue of having to have friends to do content is better than allowing people to play your game to the fullest is utter nonsense. I understand wanting people to interact. I understand wanting the social aspect. It's an online game. It's a multiplayer game. I get it. And in theory, that sounds fantastic. But if your feature is causing a bunch of people, and I mean a bunch of people, to not want to play your game because they don't have friends, or they don't have enough friends, or they're socially awkward, or they're mentally ill, or they're super busy having a real life. I mean, I have so many friends that get to play like an hour a week, right? Now imagine they log in and they have an hour. Only 2 of their guildmates are online. Or imagine they don't even have guildmates because the guilds they're in are competitive, and if they're not online a certain number of hours, and this is a real thing, real competitive nature thing that happens all the time, they just don't get to play. They have to be limited by the content. And so I encourage designers, I was inspired for myself and my own features and my own, designs to remind myself that, yeah, some things like social interaction, some things like maintaining an image for how you want your systems to play out is incredibly valuable. Don't get me wrong. But to say that fixing a broader issue in your audience, especially one that alienates people that can't devote all their time to your game, is better than the alternative, that hurts my feelings, man. That crushes me. Especially as a gamer, that hurt. Basically, this developer who's been there for years and years and years just said, yeah, the thing that made all the content in the later mid to late game possible for you because you're socially awkward and have all these issues and are busy and stuff, that feature that allowed you to play our game was terrible, and we hated it, and we shouldn't have implemented it. And now it revolutionized the industry. It made such an impact that every other game pretty much uses it, and any game that doesn't is hard to play. So I just wanted to rant. I wanted to talk about that. It really bugged me, and it really threw me off, honestly. I've already been kind of hesitant on joining the nebulous vibe of the gaming industry and how strange and unusual AAA studios can get. It's kind of odd. I resonate with quality and making sure things are done well. I don't want my name on things that are half-assed. The consensus is that getting something out is better than not getting something out, but it doesn't have to be good. And that, I don't even know how to take that, honestly. it makes me not want to be a part of it. I still am going to be a part of it because damn it, that's my dream and I'm going to make it happen, but holy crap, it's not as inspirational as you would think. So anyone trying to get into the industry, just keep in mind that if you have convictions like me where you want everything your name's attached to be incredible, you might have to give up on it. And I'm slowly giving up on it now. So yeah, if you're interested, I do have an extra piece of my own project if not, this is where I'm going to end the video. And I'm curious, do you think that's good? How do you feel about a dungeon queue? How do you feel about getting forced to have friends in a game? Shouldn't you be able to just play? Maybe a different design for dungeon systems like that is in order. Who knows? Maybe we'll keep in mind for that kind of stuff for Etheric. Maybe we will take what this developer said and turn it into something incredible and hopefully get over the shock value of them saying the dungeon queue system was a mistake. Anyway, I hope you have a fantastic day, fantastic week, fantastic life, and I hope to see you in the next episode of Soren Says.